Alright, this house in Monroe, Washington was recently sold for $481,000, and I'm going to talk about what it would look like if you were going to be the one to buy this house, what your monthly payment might look like, and what income it would take to qualify for this place. Let's look through the house real quick, look at a few pictures. So this is listed in Monroe, Washington. It's closer to the downtown area, and lots of great updates. Great character inside. Small place. It's 3 beds, 1 bath, 1,008 square feet. You can see there. But lots of new updates. So click through those real quick so you can see what you're looking at. Pretty cool place, and really only listed at I think it was listed at $450 or $475, and ended up going obviously for a little above that. But neat place. And we're going to look at what your monthly payment might look like on this place if you're kind of in that first-time home buyer range and not bringing a ton of cash down, and what income it would take to qualify for this. So let's go ahead and look at those quotes. So here are 2 quotes, and the way I've set this up is for both of these, I'm assuming you're a first-time home buyer. For both of these, I'm assuming your credit score is 740. And for both of these, I'm assuming you have about $60,000 of cash all in. You can see in the estimated cash to close section, that's your down payment and any other cash it takes to close the deal. So both of these, I'm assuming you're bringing about $60,000 and you have about $60,000 available. But the reason these 2 quotes are different is because there's a tool that you can use when you're getting a mortgage called points. You can pay points, and what that means is it's this section right here. And you can see in one of these sections you're paying $22,000. One of these quotes you're paying $22,000 in points, and in the other one you're actually getting a credit of $544. And basically what that is points are a tool you can pay, a fee you can pay up front in order to get a lower interest rate. On the reverse of that, you can take a credit from the lender towards your closing costs. They'll cover some of your closing costs if you're willing to take a higher interest rate. And so the reason I've created these 2 quotes the way I've set this up is that we're assuming you have $60,000 cash all in, but you can see one of these I've paid $22,000 in points to significantly reduce the monthly payment because we've bought a lower interest rate. You can see the $22,000 in points has gotten us 5.625% interest rate, whereas basically 0 points, a small credit, has gotten us an interest rate of 7.125. And so that's left us with 2 different monthly payments. In one scenario you have $32.42, in the other you have $35.07 of a monthly payment. Now part of that might just be comfort range. You might want to pay points if you're not comfortable. If you have the cash to do so, but you're not comfortable with taking on a higher monthly payment, and you just want to lock in a lower monthly payment, and you're willing to cough up a little cash to do so. Generally, a strategy that we recommend sometimes using points on, that former scenario is not usually a scenario we recommend paying points on, but it's up to the comfort level. Generally, the scenario we recommend paying points on is if paying these points, if you can structure the deal in this way in order to bring down the monthly payment so that you can qualify for it. Because the way qualifying works for a mortgage is that your debt-to-income ratio needs to be less than 50%. And what that calculation is your debt-to-income ratio, your DTI, is your total monthly debts divided by your gross monthly income. And that number needs to be less than 50%. Sometimes you can get right up to 50%, but for the most part it needs to be less than 50%. And there are a few exceptions to that, but as a general rule, that's a helpful rule of thumb. And so what that means is if you're making $7,000 a month, then you can qualify for this monthly payment here. And when I say making $7,000 a month, this number here, your gross monthly income, it's your income before taxes, but it's your income as the lender calculates it. And sometimes you can personally rely on more income than the lender will credit you for, than the lender will will qualify you for. And so this 50% is using the number that the lender is going to use in terms of income. So it's $7,000 a month that you would have to be making to qualify for this. And so if you can't qualify for, you have $60,000, you'd be willing to get up. This is a 10% down scenario. You'd be willing to do that, and you could do that. But the lender won't let you take this, won't let you qualify for this loan if you're not making quite $7,000 a month. And so if you're a little bit below that number, you might say, okay, I'm going to use that $60,000, but I'm going to go 5% down. 5% down instead of 10% down here. And I'm going to use the rest of my cash to pay points. And what that's going to do is, even though it's about the same amount of cash, in fact, it's less cash in this scenario, even though it's about the same amount of cash, putting that money towards paying points has a bigger impact on your monthly payment than putting that money just towards the down payment. So the qualifying income here in this scenario is about $6,400. Right? So if you don't quite qualify for this, but you're really motivated on this house and you're comfortable with the monthly payment, that might be a time to pay points and put 5% down. It's still the same cash all in. So there's just a sense of what your monthly payment might look like on this house and what kind of income you'd need to qualify for these payments. Again, here in this scenario, it'd be about $6,400, and then in this scenario on the right, it'd be about $7,000 a month. If you want to get a real quote on the house you're looking at, or if you're just interested in learning about the home buying process wherever you're at in that stage, our team, Cleveland Street Mortgage, does loans in Washington and Idaho. And we work hard to serve as mortgage advisors and not just do loans, not just get you a loan, but bring advice, make sure you're aware of all the impacts of each decision along the way, and be an advisor long term as well. So if that sounds interesting to you, there's a link in the description here in this video where you can watch a video of what it's like to work with our team, what our process is like. There's a link to our website where you can find our contact info. Go ahead and text, call, email, or schedule a call, whatever works best for you.